The following podcast is dedicated to sonic excellence.
Mary had a little man.
Fun with sound.
Donk. Hello and welcome to the Parp Donk Podcast, a beginner's guide to sound design. Come on, let's have some fun.
Rolling on episode 3, Big Wet Splash. Voiceover.
This is Parp Donk, episode 3.
I'm John.
And I'm Jim.
And I'm Amanda, and Pippin, John's Pomeranian, is also here, who you might hear.
Here, let me pinch him and see if I can get him to...
Nah, he's not going to perform on cue because he's like Michigan J. Frog.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about voiceover.
Excellent. A voiceover is a piece of narration in a movie or broadcast, not accompanied by an image of the speaker. But I think it's actually a skilled job. You're an actor.
The definition is a little succinct, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
so
right?
There's so many different types of voiceover too.
It's true. Which brings us to the voiceover reel. You put a few spots onto a file and you post it. Usually on an agent's page, or there's these pages that you can go and you can just listen to one voiceover after another voiceover after another voiceover.
I have 3 reels myself.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a character reel, a narration reel, and I have a mouth Foley reel. So,
that's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
Video game. Jet takeoff. Birds. Beats.
Because when people listen to reels, they usually stop after 30 seconds or less when they hear something.
Sure, yeah.
So if you're trying to go for different genres, to put them all together, they'll never get to the end. So
Right,
that's why my thinking was 3 separate reels for 3 separate strains. You know, so,
I have the same. I have character,
Yeah.
narration, commercials.
Do you think your dog evolved to its perfectly lovable state by eating a carefully crafted science diet? Natural balance. Food for dogs. If you can feel something deep in your gut, you're doing it wrong. Activia probiotic yogurt promotes gut health, so the only thing you feel is ready. You don't need intelligent safety features for the things you see coming. It's the other stuff where it really comes in handy. The all-new Volkswagen Atlas.
I don't have a reel.
I don't need a reel.
Today is my reel.
Let's make John a reel.
Let's do that, yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the history of voiceover?
The first voiceover apparently was in the early 1900s. A guy named Reginald Fessenden. And he broadcast a weather report. And that became the first voiceover. They credit him with being the first one to start.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So pretty soon they started adding voice to everything, so
Right.
really early.
And so that was what, radio?
That was radio, early 1900s, a weather report. So,
I think it's so important that you guys are talking about everything being under the voice.
Right.
Because it being called voiceover is just a perfect way to think about it.
Exactly.
Right? Like the voice has to be dominant.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, in post-production, voiceover is the thing that sits on top. We even used to say there's different types of mixes for the voiceover. We used to call, you'd put your hand where your mouth is, and this is a good mix, you'd say.
Yeah, right.
A banker mix would be down here.
I would imagine that that's a male voiceover, too, because it's very conservative. And back when voiceovers were male, almost exclusively.
I mean, I think it also kind of is parallel with society,
Yeah.
with men doing all the jobs.
Sure.
That would be another job. I mean, why would a woman do that? You know?
Right.
So, and then even further than that, a term became the voice of God. So the big voice.
Uh-huh.
So a woman doesn't necessarily have the biggest voice.
Well, God's a man, obviously.
Yeah, of course. yeah.
He's got a beard.
Yeah. So the voice of God became, the standard for since Reginald all the way probably to the 2000s.
Yeah.
I think,
Yep. But these days, when I watch TV and listen to the radio,
Right.
I feel like it's almost 50-50 split. Maybe it's like a few more men than women, but there's a lot more women.
Like I was saying, I think it's a reflection of society.
Yeah.
Now that we're trying to be more like that, because if you're trying to sell to everybody, then why does it just sound like one guy always? You know, so
Right.
it kind of makes sense. And also, I think is with the pandemic, with technology, you know, all of a sudden anyone can record. So you didn't have to be in the old boys network and to go to a studio.
Right.
You can record at home. And then the pandemic really pushed that even further.
Which is where voiceovers all do their work now.
Yeah. And which is, you know what, for John and I coming up, you only record in the studio.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and everything. There was never a problem, because if there's a problem, we made the problem with the recording. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you knew,
Right.
yeah, you got it right.
It was a treated room and
Yeah.
an expensive microphone.
Yeah.
You know, the U87, it was...
So I get, well, what I'm saying is I think that it opened up so many opportunities for so many people to get into voiceover, which is great, because now you have this undiscovered talent possibly, but it became the Wild West of quality.
Yes.
Because you're asking talent to be an engineer, basically.
Yes.
And
100%.
and some of them are great, and some of them are just awful. You know, I just did one a couple months ago, and I was recording this girl, and she's like, "And this we're gonna do this," and I said, you know, and she sounds like this, and we found out she had Invisalign braces.
Oh my
Temporary.
goodness.
She just came back from the dentist, and the dentist said, "You can't take these out for 2 weeks."
Oh
So
my
she-
God.
So we had to redo the session.
Do we want to talk a little bit about what we like in a voiceover and what we don't like?
Oh, sure.
You can say no if it's a sensitive subject.
From a engineer's point or from a listener point, or what?
I guess from a listener point, and, you know, as an engineer, you would have to work harder to fix the things that the listener doesn't like.
From an engineer point, when you work with somebody who's good, it's great that they come in and they sound good on mic and they get it immediately. You know,
Yeah.
you're not editing. You're not. Tom used to tell us, if you don't have it in 10 takes with the talent, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
You know,
Consistency
Yeah.
is one thing. You know, the voice level. The voice stays at a certain level the whole time, even if you're talking quietly. You know, it's still at a level that you can use, and it rises above the rest of the information. You know, the music and the effects.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't need that much processing afterwards.
well, one of the jobs I worked on was with Peter Thomas, and he used to do auto tape tours.
The Peter Thomas.
Yeah, he was great.
Peter Thomas he was in a lawsuit in
He's-
the 80s.
he's probably one of the
voice
biggest voiceovers.
There's a song 19 that came out in the 80s. Yeah, 19. You know, the average age of the soldier was 19. 19. That's Peter Thomas.
But he in the 50s and 60s, he was like the king voice. He made lots of money. He was a sweetheart. He's like your grandfather. He was the nicest guy.
Yeah,
But-
he wore seersucker suits and
But-
a straw hat.
Yeah, but talk about consistency. So the auto had to do a thing for the auto tape tour for Washington, D.C. And so this tape they had since 1978 or something. They changed the roads or something in D.C. So he had to come, because it was like, turn me on, you know, because you put the cassette in your car and you listen to it like, oh, now we're going to go to the Washington Monument. Take a left up here, and over there is the, you know, and they have all this. And they changed the road, so he had to come in and match it. The first take, he was like, he matched what he did, you know, perfectly.
Like 30 years before. Yeah.
Right.
But that's consistency. Peter Thomas could match himself like,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who's just learning might not be able to do that, but
Yeah.
he's done it so long.
Well, that's where we used to make fun of that. You know, hello, John.
yeah, that's right.
Hello, and welcome to the
Yeah.
the Washington D.C. tour, Jim.
Yeah. Well, that's like, we used to joke about that.
Yeah,
right? It's like the
right,
number you have dialed 94382, right? I always like the political ads where it's like, you know, Jack Smith is here to help you and your family, you know. And then at the end, it was like, this message is approved by. I never understood, like, Jack Smith can't get to a studio, but they make this whole thing and he's on the phone like somewhere else. For some reason,
right.
political ads, they always do that. It's like,
Did you ever record the people who spoke really fast, who would do like the legal at the end?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a skill that I'm always so envious of.
Yep.
Well,
Being able to speak that fast.
it's also editing.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
listen-
of course,
if-
you like edit every.
there's no
little
breath,
There's
air
no breath.
out.
Yeah, there's no breaths in there. It's,
Yeah.
But there are certain actors who are known for speaking fast.
Yeah,
and, like, they,
yeah,
they're the ones who
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
hired
that's
for that.
that's a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Being able to fit, 45 seconds worth of copy into 30 seconds.
Totally.
Oh yeah. And again, like a Peter Thomas, some of these guys, they have an internal clock.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
used to sit, and they could do it.
Yep. Yeah, they would read it 3 times, and each one would be exactly like 29 and a half
Yep.
seconds.
Sometimes you have producers. We used to call this the term paper producer.
Yes.
So the term paper producer is the producer who thinks if I do it 100 times, it's going to be better than if I did it 10 times. So if I do 100 takes, it's going to be better than 10 takes. If I write the script 100 times, but what we do, that's not necessarily true. You can get it right, like in the first couple takes, but there's certain people that do that. So if you're in one of those situations, you have to make sure.
Well, my favorite situation used to be take 98, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Can I hear the first take
Yeah, can I hear
again?
one again?
Oh yeah, no, that's it.
So you get that. What do you think? What do you think? Let me make a phone call.
Yeah, right,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
we had a whole song about the We Are the Men from the Ad Agency.
Oh, fantastic.
John, why don't you sing it?
We are the men from the ad agency. What do you think? What do you think? Let me make a phone call.
Because you'd have 8 guys in the room, and they're like, "Oh, we should call Jack and ask him what he thinks." And Jack is, "Who the hell is that?" And then, so we hold this phone up to the speaker. Meanwhile, those 8 guys are
Yeah, right.
usually
Yeah, they
guys.
couldn't make a decision from.
So you
That
have
was the days of advertising. That was from the Clack musical, by the way.
Oh yeah, Clack. More than just a musical. Remember, it's a
The way to
make.
make a spot.
Way to make a spot. We had a whole Clack musical. At the toniest house in town, Clack the musical.
All that singing, all that joyous dancing.
Yeah.
Do you ever record for audiobooks, or is that something that people only do themselves?
We did a couple.
Yeah,
of
we did a
them.
couple. Yeah. And again, that is a skill too for a voiceover.
I know. it's difficult.
I've tried that myself,
Yeah.
and I've done a couple, and because I can engineer, right? And I've done voiceover,
And I can read.
and I can read, but to read, so you get paid by the hour, I think, or no, the finished minute,
The
or,
finished hour.
yeah, finished hour. So when you read a 500-page book, if you're good at it, you're reading 10 pages, 20 pages.
Right.
You don't stop, and
And
there's
you
no
don't
mis-
have to do a sentence over again.
and there's no
because you
mistakes.
stumbled.
Yeah. For me, I was like, okay, I was having problems. I would make mistakes. I'd stop, and then my editing became this. I was
a
like,
nightmare,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I was like, oh,
Which brings us to what's
James
his name?
Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
yeah,
Yeah.
So he had a great set of pipes, but he was.
You were reading something about Thoreau, right?
and he
that's
kept starting and stopping himself. The cat. This is what he's doing. The cat. The cat went to the. The cat went down the road to the. And you're just like, shit, man.
Right, look at your
I feel like we're
watch.
torturing this guy. That's what it was like. And then then I gotta cut it all together. Like, okay, there's like how many of these starts are there? Like 80.
And now, a word from Parp Donk.
Harp Donk on Broadway. All that singing. Harp Donk! Yeah. All that joyous dancing.
Up your bum is what I say to you, sir.
If you see only one show this year, make it Harp Donk on Broadway by Andrew Cloak Weaver at the toniest house in town, the St. Terelle Theater.
We have seen it 7 times. Love, love, love the music, love the outfits. It's truly wondrous.
This is better than the London production. Sit as close as you can to the stage. You'll love the actors.
If a kid like me likes it, it has to be good.
Harp Donk, memories that'll last a lifetime at the St. Terelle Theater. Harp your tickets today.
Harp down! Yeah!
Do you have any other favorite celebrities that you've recorded that you want to talk about?
Oh, there were so many that came through the studio.
Not so much celebrities, but the famous voiceovers.
Yeah, voiceovers that you really admire.
Norman Rose.
Norman Rose.
Norman Rose was definitely one of them. Who's the guy that used to do Bluto?
Jackson Beck.
Jackson Beck, yeah. Jackson Beck had the most amazing.
Yeah.
and he would call you Sparks. Because he couldn't remember anybody. He couldn't remember any of the engineers' names, and he would go to like 25 studios a day, right? And so it says, Sparks, did you get that one?
And Sparks is the old term for a guy I think in the Navy who did the radio. That was Sparks.
Yeah.
So he's from another time.
That's adorable.
Billy West.
Billy West. I loved him too. He was such a nice guy.
He was a great guy.
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, he's still around.
Yeah. Yes, and how?
Bill St. James.
Billy St. James. I used to call him Hank Azaria.
Oh, you recorded Hank Azaria?
Yeah.
He's, I mean, a hero of so many people of my generation because he's on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Doug Price.
Doug Price,
right?
Yep. Fred Newman. Robin Quivers. I used to record a lot.
Really? Oh, I love her. Yeah, she's great.
Dana Fuchs.
Oh, yeah?
Dana Fuchs was a incredible blues singer.
So there's some interesting characters back in the day, too, of voiceovers. And these are all voice of God guys at this stage. You know, one guy would come in and it could be like 20 below zero, but he always had a button-down nylon shirt, always open to his like navel, basically. And not like he was in shape either, you know.
Right.
And his tie was his belt, and it would hang down. And he was British. And I remember he'd come in and he goes, punch me. Like, what? He goes, I was in the British artillery. And he'd start hitting himself, like, go ahead, punch me. I'm like, no. There's these weird, you know. I remember one guy got into shape, and he started working out. So he comes in and just takes his shirt off and starts walking around the studio with his shirt off. I'm like, and I go out and he's like making coffee and I'm like everything's normal except he doesn't have his shirt on. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, hey, what's up? You know?
You get weird vibes sometimes.
Yeah. Well, just like anything in life. I mean, some people. Yeah. I had one Vic Damone.
Oh, Vic Damone.
Oh, wow.
Vic Damone comes in and he has some guy behind him just like. And Vic Damone, totally. And he's like, "Hey, Vic Damone." And Vic Damone's like this. Hey, nice Jim. Hey, how you doing? And it was me and the producer and Vic Damone and the gorilla. And then and we gave him the copy. He's like, "All right, no problem, buddy." And he goes in the booth, reads it once, and the guy from the back comes up and is like, "Mr. Damone has read enough for today."
Oh, I love that.
And then the producer's like, "I think we got it." And he comes out, he's saying, "All right, great session, everybody, Vic Damone." And he just took off, you know. I remember that. That was kind of a little uncomfortable. I have some AI clips if you want. Are we going to do that?
Yes,
or is that next time?
No, I think it's important to talk, about where voiceover is going.
Yep.
And, a discussion like that is not complete without talking about AI.
Let me see if I can.
Are you ready? Hello, I am Tom Clack, and I fully endorse the Parp Dunk podcast. Up your bum.
I was trying to think, what should I have him say?
That's exactly what he would say.
He doesn't sound very happy.
He doesn't, right?
He's missing the spark of cheerfulness that he.
But I thought that was kind of. I was like, well, what is he? He always says "up your bum," right? So and I want him to endorse our pod. I know he would probably.
He would absolutely. He would.
So.
But there you have it.
So that's
the AI. We're calling him what? Plastic Tom.
Plastic Tom.
That's the AI version of our former boss, Tom Clack.
Right. And here is me talking, and then an AI version of me. Sound design is the art and practice of creating and changing sounds to achieve a specific artistic or functional purpose. And here's the AI version. Sound design is the art and practice of creating and changing sounds to achieve a specific artistic or functional purpose. You know, what you said, I don't think there's spark in that second one either.
I think in both cases it sounds like somebody like
sucked the life out, or
like with a gun to their head.
read this, or Vic Damone's coming back.
Totally. And I guess that's good news for voice actors that humanity is still missing from AI.
But I guess the question begs is, does it matter? Yes, it's missing something, but
does that make any difference?
Do people care?
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's the argument.
The people who matter will care. The people who, in the example of a commercial, say, who want to buy a high quality product.
Right.
They want to have a high quality advertisement attached to it.
If the budget's there. I mean, I guess it's good if you don't have a budget, or if you don't have a voice, and you have a bad voice, you can create or use one of these without the human element.
Without the human element, but it's going to get better.
Yeah, eventually.
It's only
and
going to get better.
We're getting very close to the human element.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when the first ones to do this was Adobe.
Yeah.
Adobe came out with this, you could talk into a microphone and then you could make that voice say anything.
Right.
So the implications of that are like
scary.
Incredibly scary.
Yeah.
So let's go in a happier direction to end things and talk about voice work that you guys, both of you, have done. Because you were in the studio anyway, so very frequently you were called upon to voice characters.
We were pulled from behind the console
yes, you were.
into front of the microphone.
You're on the wrong side of the glass, mister.
Well, the most famous one for Jim and myself is the MTV Christmas Christmas Carol.
Reindeers singing.
Yeah, the reindeers singing reindeers. That's us.
Yeah.
Can I just say how much of an honor it is for me to be sitting in the same room with the two MTV Christmas reindeers?
Well, Amanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jim sang Walking in a Winter Wonderland in sort of an Elvis-y rendition. And John said, put a lid on it, bozo. And I love the sound effect underneath that too of just the whistling wind.
Yeah,
it's so simple.
I don't know if you mix that or I mix that.
It was my studio. Yeah, but we just got thrown in front of a microphone and told to do something.
Didn't you guys do Joe's apartment as well?
Yes, we were
that's right.
We were roaches. I was the porno roach actually.
Okay,
I was condom roach.
Yeah.
Can I say what an honor it is to be sitting next to Condom Roach and Porno Roach?
Think you're gonna need one of these, Joe?
And how did we make that, Jim?
We sped it up with tape.
You sped it up. Yeah.
That was all analog tape. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you had a specific percentage.
Yeah.
I remember before we would start recording, you and John Payson in there, like getting the it had to be just the right percentage.
On the MTR 10, right? I think remember because you'd put it in various speed and then you could turn the
right. Yeah.
And I put a grease pencil mark where the roach speed was.
So I have what I hope is a very amusing story about being a kid in the studio and kind of learning by osmosis what these VO sessions are like.
Yep.
Thomas was, for some reason, babysitting me. I had to come to work with him one day. And so he just kind of sat me in the corner of the lounge in his studio with a coloring book or something. Right. And the client came in, and just as you were describing, it was like 8 guys in suits, who were ordering sushi and all that. And and the vocal talent was there, and they made him read the spot many times.
Yep.
And, I'm just sort of sitting in the corner with my coloring book, and after the 5th or 6th read, I'm memorizing what he's going to say.
Yep.
So like as he's talking and everyone is listening on the other side of the glass, I'm like whispering it to myself, and like in unison with him. And after every take, the clients go to Tom and she's like, can you play that back? I think that Andrew has a little bit of a whistle in his voice, or maybe there's something wrong with your equipment. And like nobody put 2 and 2 together that a little 6-year-old child is basically reciting their copy from a corner of the room. Nobody even noticed me, I don't think.
Why would they?
No, of course not.
Yeah, nobody noticed Jim and I. We were actually there and doing stuff.
Well, you're part of this equipment, basically.
Yes, exactly.
You're another piece of equipment. Yeah. So. If they call Jack, can you hear
Can you hear a whistle in the background? Yeah, Jack hears it too.
Yeah, Jack hears it. I'm going to do it again. Well, get him back in the booth. He's going to do the boner sound. And I really like doing this podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Parp Donk today. In the next episode, we are going to delve a little bit deeper into VO and talk about how to record a voiceover.
Yes,
and the nuts and bolts of that.
Yeah.
The technical version.
We'll play with some mics. Version. We'll talk preamps and positioning and all kinds of things. Right, John?
For those who missed out on that, who might be saying, oh, why didn't they talk about that? We'll be talking about that.